Well, one of Adelaide United and Perth Glory, two teams who've waited a long, long time for silverware, will end their search for a trophy this evening. And 16,500 showing up shows this final has captured the public's imagination in a big, big way in South Australia. Let's have a look at the two-team lineups, starting with Adelaide United, who showed three changes from the side that lost to Brisbane in the A-League at the weekend. Craig Goodwin is cup-tied. Pablo Sanchez and Fabio Ferreira both drop out. Ewan Mobile returns in place of the latter. But the really good news for the Reds is that Nigel Bogard and Marcelo Carusca have both recovered from their injuries, and both will start. Now, just the one change for Perth Glory, but it is an important one. Mitch Nichols did travel in the hope of playing tonight, but the hamstring injury suffered against the Jets last Friday hasn't healed sufficiently, so he's replaced in midfield by Ruben Zadkovic. Naboiza Marinkovic, Andy Keogh and the Reds' Sergio Therio have all scored 5 goals in their club's cup run so far. Our match referee for the big occasion is Chris Beath. Richard Garcia, 33 years young and playing in his first cup final at home, scored his first goal in his home state on Friday. What price another one tonight? Adelaide perhaps the slight favourites with home advantage, but Glory top of the A-League and bang in form. So the countdown to the first ever FFA Cup final is over. The first, we hope, Andy Harper, of many, and it has been a really special ride.
Yeah, it has. It's just come out of the blocks at 100 miles an hour, and the potential for this competition is enormous. It's been a great first hit out, fittingly at Hindmarsh Stadium, one of the great football stadiums in Australia, which has hosted cup finals before. But it just looks a picture. Immaculate playing surface. Two teams in great form.
Look at that for a release. And Sergio Thierio's got the measure of the fullback. Across it goes, and Mobile didn't go for it. Well, it looks there for the taking for Ewan Mobile.
When you think back a couple of weeks, Simon, the away game at Melbourne Victory, Ewan Mobile did score one from a similar play, but he missed an identical one. And it's deja vu all over again. Not quite sure what happened. I have no explanation for that whatsoever.
I don't think Joseph Gomba does either.
Beautiful ball from Nigel Bogard. Again, one of the features of Adelaide's play has been the spread of possession from centre defence out to either flank, and Bogard just pinged that one magnificently. Therio received it with expertise, and Josh Risdon was beaten positionally. And then for some inexplicable reason, Bill couldn't get on the end of that wonderful lead-up play by Adelaide.
Great noise reverberating around this wonderful little football venue. As Thwaite puts it into the channel for Andy Keogh, who's quick, but so too is Dylan McGowan. And Eugene Galekovic is going to have to be. Now Elrich, boxed in by Garcia. The Reds won't panic, they'll try and play out from the back, not too successfully. It's going to be a corner for Perth.
Well, a good bright opening start. Any questions about whether this was going to be cat and mouse to go through the settling in period? Well, thankfully, the answer to that is no. Adelaide are too aggressive for that. They believe in their system and their players too much for that, and Perth Glory's form is too good to worry about cat and mouse tactics. It's been a very bright start here at Coopers.
Here's the dead ball specialist, Naboiza Marinkovic, who goes deep towards Thwaite. And Jitte for competition. Mobile unable to chase it down. Strangely, it's not the first time these two teams have met in a final in the A-League era. They played here at Hindmarsh Stadium as it was then in the pre-season cup final of 08. The Reds winning back by 2-1 on that occasion. Now it sits up nicely for Zadkovic. Too much elevation.
Well, he set it up beautifully and could easily have done better. Ruben Zadkovic doesn't score a lot of goals, and principally those goals he does score come from outside the penalty area. And he teed that one up quite deliciously. And he should have made more of it, really. A player of his ability
Very solid central pairing as Keogh scraps for it. So now Griffiths well matched by Bogard in the air.
And again, in the cup final day, it's difficult sometimes to get your angles and your touch right, but Roston Griffiths just with a little bit more finesse on that pass through to Marinkovic, and the glory would have been away.
The Reds might be away here. Bill herring around the outside of Karuska. Early delivery. Oh, and Jitte wasn't expecting it. Good defending then by Josh Risdon. Out it comes for Jago, who slaloms past Zatkovic. And he can't pick out Karuska.
Good scramble in the end. Well read by Marinkovic.
Billy McGowan with Jitte coming short to offer him an option. It's not a great ball from Jitte. McGowan really having to stretch. Jitte perhaps acknowledging his error. He was desperate to atone for it, and he really has done well. And then clumsy by Zatkovic on Jago, free kick.
Well, he copped an earful, Zatkovic, from Andy Keogh for not pushing up and helping him in the press. Maybe Zatkovic is finding the early pace a little bit much. He hasn't got any game miles in those legs, and then clumsily unable to get out of the way of Jimmy Jagger.
Jago, Bogard and Karuska deep in discussion. Bogard's walked away. It's a good 25 to 30 metres out. Karuska to clip it in towards McGowan, who can't reach it. Put back in by Isais, and then Karuska will blast it. And Danny Vukovic had to watch it carefully through a whole crowd of bodies.
As we just said, you know, they're not securing enough possession. They're not able to build pressure. There's too many times when players are not bringing the ball down and playing, and they're just hilting it forward.
Flick on by Jitte. Austin Griffiths in the right place at the right time, and avoids Marinkovic with a beautiful drop of the shoulder. Keogh's offside, but Garcia isn't. He should go around Galekovic, who barges into him. No penalty, and then Keogh with the follow-up shot. But the angle was too narrow, and Richard Garcia continues the protests towards Chris Beath. He feels he should have had a penalty.
He's got to get his mind back on the job, because he get an opportunity here to help Marinkovic lock Adelaide in, and he was too busy having a chat with Chris Beath. A one-way conversation, it should be said. And now the pressure's off Adelaide. Great chance for Perth Glory, though. Wonderfully found. Marinkovic skipped clear of the tackler and then threaded the pass for Garcia.
Hasn't Marinkovic been a joy to watch this season? That's another foul, this time by Risdon. And Adelaide supporters and bench getting increasingly agitated. And Roston Griffiths has had a bit to say as well. Floated by McGowan to perfection for Tarek Elrich, who gets the head down and drives towards the box, and he's been caught by Garcia, and that's going to be the first yellow card. I think Chris Beath's patience had clearly run out.
That's a worry. That's a worry, Simon, for this reason. And the yellow card obviously speaks for itself, but 31 minutes in, for Richie Garcia to be so struggling to make up that ground, to feel like he needed to take the easy option, which that is a worrying sign for Perth Glory fans. The referee with no option, in my view, but to give the yellow card.
Good to see Tarek Elrich in full flow again. It's become a feature of his game this season, whether he plays left back or right back. Those penetrating runs forward. Provides an opportunity here for the Reds. Karuska's delivery, it's beyond Jitte and behind by Garcia, who continued the kick in the first place.
He did well to defend his team's goal. Roston Griffiths has been enormously busy defensively in these situations, as you could imagine. He's been one of the season highlights across the league, has Griffiths.
So another corner for the Reds. Glory are yet to concede either a header or from a corner this season. See if that's about to change. Karuska whips it in with pace towards the near post, and it's met by Jorbic. On the back by Jego, and then Isais. And his attempted pass charged down by Keogh, which again he thought was a foul, and put out by Morona. Well, as tight as we might expect between two teams who are first and third respectively in the Hyundai A-League. Both having really good campaigns. Adelaide's mantle has slipped a little bit in recent weeks, losing 2 of the last 3. That's obstruction by Jamison on Mobile. It's the 15th foul of the game, and Perth, Andy, have conceded 12 of them.
Well, it happens when you don't have the ball. Perhaps not to that extent. Have won 12 of those fouls so far. Haven't been able to do a lot with a plethora of free kicks they've been awarded by Chris Beath. Bogarts going right through the guts of the Perth defence, and Karuska couldn't control it well enough. Here's Mobile across the face, cleared by Thwaite. Back with Morone. Adelaide probing. Mobile's cross. Zadkovic, not really the sort of clearance Perth needed. Thwaite is tight on Jite, and eventually it's behind for another Reds corner. Well, the kettle's boiling. The whistle hasn't gone off yet, but the kettle is definitely on the boil. Adelaide are coming strong.
And the Reds fans responding. This capacity crowd inside Cooper Stadium. Switching to the left boot to try and create the angle, and Perth are so deep at the moment. I know they've just had a set piece to defend, but in general play anyway. Here's Bogart. Again, verbal complaints. The physicality of the Irishman. Isais, that's a good ball for Mobile, who flicks it with the outside of the boot towards Jite. Therio and Mobile in the box. Jite gets his head down. Can he find the cross? Thwaite is there. And now a foul on De Silva. Pressure relieved for Perth Glory, but it's building. Jorbic going long, looking for Keogh. One in the air by Bogart. Mobile gets there first ahead of Zadkovic, and then a falcon to the face of Danny De Silva. A bit of arm in there perhaps as well. Quickly taken. Therio. Wisdom was late, and he's going to become the second Perth Glory player to go into Chris Beath's notebook.
His endeavours to close Therio down and let the Spaniard get any head of steam. He's overstepped the mark and can't argue with the yellow card that he's received.
Danny Vukovic barking orders to the 2 men in the defensive wall. He wanted them to cover that near post just in case. Was whipped in by the right foot of Jimmy Jego. Instead, he runs over it. Delivered with the left of Karuska. Cleared by Griffiths. Retrieved by Mobile. Round the outside. Can't find the cross. And then a mistake from Andy Keogh in his own penalty area. It's like pinball in here. And eventually, Perth will scramble it clear somehow, and they've got a chance of a breakaway here. It's Danny De Silva with Andy Keogh herring forward, trying to make the ground up to give him an option, but Tarek Elrich has done terrifically well, because he was last man there other than Eugene Galekovic. from one end of the field to the other. It's a really hard-fought cup final.
With neither goalkeeper really having to make a save yet. Adelaide have had those two brilliant chances that didn't, well, they were shaping up as brilliant chances, but didn't test Vukovic.
Yeah, Griffiths closed down quickly by Carrasco, and here's Jitte threading it through. Real chance, Mobile! Best chance of the first half, and he's butchered it.
Roston Griffiths asleep at the wheel on that occasion. A rare thing so far this season. Jitte was away, and Mobile was in front of goal. Not his day today so far.
Well, that was his big moment, and he's fluffed his lines. And there goes the half-time whistle. A very tight, very tense first half. It's been peppered by fouls. Ruben Zedkovic guilty of 3 of them. Risdon and Garcia in the book for Perth. But the first half really thin on goal-scoring chances. Mobile with by far the best of them in stoppage time. But at the break, we're no nearer to knowing who will lift the inaugural FFA Cup. At the break, it's goalless. Adelaide United 0, Perth Glory 0. And the conversations go on into the sheds at half-time. Plenty to talk about from Michael Zappone and Andy Harper and John Cosmina on the other side of this break.
Half-time in the Westfield FFA Cup final, and it's 0-0 between these two sides. Adelaide United having more of the play in that first half, but Perth Glory still in this one. I wonder whether Kenny Lowe will make any changes for the second half here.
Perth Glory may still have a little bit to say about the destination of the Cup, and they're going to make the first change of the final. Danny De Silva to be replaced at the break by the Brazilian Sydney, who's just on his way back, of course, from that lengthy knee problem. Came off the bench against the Jets in the 2-0 win at NIB Stadium last Friday. So he'll get his chance in the second half to try and give the Glory a little bit more pep going forwards. They've been mainly on the back foot in the first half. Let's see if that pattern continues. So the Reds, who are unchanged from their starting 11, and is back underway with a long ball towards Mobile, who had the best chances perhaps of that first half. And interesting, Andy Harper, that the theory goes that he didn't take that shot in the early stages because he was perhaps blinded by the sun.
Well, that'll do. That's as good as I've heard. It's going to have to do, because up until that revelation, Simon, there was no explanation. Adelaide finished that half strongly, Perth wilting and just hanging on, if truth be told. And the half-time whistle couldn't have come soon enough for Kenny Lowe to hopefully get some energy and some ideas into his team. One of those, of course, the inclusion of Sydney, but he hasn't had any football, relatively. Zedkovic the same.
Shoved by Roston Griffiths on Marcelo Carrasco. Gives the Reds the early second half set-piece opportunity. A wall of two, just guarding that near post for Danny Vukovic. He's dispensed, I should say, with the cap. Now fully bathed in shade as we head towards evening. Carrasco to deliver the free kick. Straight at Vukovic. Garcia. And now Jamison to push forward from left fullback. This looks more promising for Perth, and Jamison will have a go. Really renowned as a goal scorer. It took a deflection, and Perth will have a corner.
He's not either, Simon, but it was an unusual angle as well for a left-footer to try and exploit. There's the challenge, strong as it was, from Dino Djurbic and Bruce Jitte. Corner to defend now for the Adelaide striker.
front of the Red Army. Section that's packed to capacity today, as is everywhere. Marinkovic with the delivery, it's not a bad one. It's poked clear by Bogard, and now Awamobil will get on his bike. Zatkovic across to meet him. He knew he couldn't foul him. And again, it's the final delivery for Awamobil that's been missing all night, whether to a teammate or in front of goal. His first piece of silverware since 2006. They have been the dominant outfit. Can they find a way through? That's a neat little trick from Jimmy Jago. Outside of the boot from Karuska, now Therio. Jamison trying to stick to his task and drive Therio back, which he does to some extent at least. And now Isais and Andy Keogh defending from the front again.
Well, not enough for him to do the work across the forward line. Keogh drops down to help the midfield.
All hands on deck for Perth, but Zatkovic has stolen it away from Jago. Not too many options. Keogh scrapping with McGowan. And then Isais, it's broken kindly for Perth. Here's Sydney, almost found a way through, but Bogard holds him up.
Superb challenge from Nige Bogard.
And there's a tug on the jersey from Isais. And again, the intensity is just rising.
Well, it certainly is. I'm not sure if that's something that Perth would want. They look to struggle with the pace of that first half. Great stuff from Nige Bogard. A nice piece you wrote too about his old man, Michael the Walrus. Bogard, fine player in his own right. Undersold his achievements as a player to you, evidently.
Yes, he did a bit. Cup winner with Newcastle Rosebud United in '84. And that's careless from Perth. And Isais has opened up the pitch beautifully with that raking pass for Therio. Can he get away from Risdon? He can. Drop of the shoulder. Still Sergio Therio. This would be a wonderful goal if they can finish it. Now for Mobil, and Mobil fires it over the top, but only just. Morone ducks inside of Sydney and still goes on. Good run from Michael Morone. Squares it up. Jago shoots is the cry. He does, but it's blocked by Dino Julbic. Great block. Well, what a finale we're building up to here, Andy Harper.
And they get such a head of steam, don't they, Adelaide?
Morone again. Nobody marking Karuska. That could spell danger, but he's shown too much of it to Zatkovic.
Everything's falling for Zatkovic for Perth, who can barely cope at the moment.
Oh, lovely stuff from Karuska. Mobil with time, and it's deflected into the grateful arms of Danny Vukovic. Karuska's won that ahead of Risdon, who's dragged it back. Problems for Josh Risdon. Huge problems for Perth Glory. Second yellow. And Josh Risdon knows he's given his team an almighty issue. Down to 10 with over half an hour still to play.
Well, you know, it sort of sums up the Perth Glory mentality tonight, Simon. They've been, from about the 20-minute mark, so rattled, and Richie Garcia set the template on 31 minutes. If you can't get there, reach out and pull the shirt back. And Josh Risdon fatally picks up a second yellow card for following that template.
Has the balance of this oh-so-tight inaugural FFA Cup final just swung irrevocably Adelaide United's way. Risdon makes his way disconsolately down the tunnel. Adelaide have made their first change. Awamobil, who's had his chances tonight, replaced by Fabio Ferreira. An honest one from Roston Griffiths, but he certainly caught the Adelaide United flyer. Back up on his feet now, and Adelaide will continue down the left through Tarek Elridge. Trying to get in, Therio in behind, chance, and Vukovic was out to meet him and narrowed the angle.
And in fairness to Therio, Danny Vukovic did well to get his body in the way, but thereafter, I don't know that he knew a lot about it. Tarek Elridge hit plenty on this, probably a little bit too hard, but Therio was away. And Vukovic just got that left hand down. The rebound really could have gone anywhere, but Vukovic did enough to claim pole position.
Now Keogh and Garcia. Now it breaks for Sydney. There's nobody in the middle, so he has to go for goal. Chris Beath played the advantage there. There might have been a foul on Richard Garcia. Isais. Bogarts. Jago for Elrich. Jago. This is where Perth will try and apply pressure. Therio, tackled by Thwaites. Jute slides it for Karuska. That's a gorgeous ball. Here's Therio! There's the opening goal of the cup final! Sergio Therio! With his 6th goal in the competition. It might be a trophy winner for the Reds.
Well, in the end, it was a super finish from the tightest of angles. But just sit back and enjoy the work of Marcelo Karuska. Now, the legwork done by Bruce Jute. Therio received and then found a new space. And just with inch perfection, Marcelo Karuska puts it on the spot. And Therio had plenty to do, but the opening was made by the Argentine. The finish complete from the Spaniard. And Gombau punches the sky and the Reds are clear.
How many times have we seen that combination this season? Karuska and Therio. Final touch came off Dino Djulbic. A new try taking that away from Sergio Therio. Cooper Stadium simply throbbing with noise. It's been almost complete domination, but the longer the game went on, perhaps more the nerves were going to edge through in the Adelaide players. You referred to that Wanderers game a couple of weeks ago. They dominated it almost completely, but only had 2 goals to show for it. And Perth were looking nice and compact until that moment.
And for all their ball, the difference again between this and the Wanderers game is that they weren't really threatening Danny Verkovic's goal. It was a constant bombardment in the Wanderers excursion. It might yet become that here. Perth Glory are down by a goal. They're down by a man.
Cleared by Jamison. Retrieved by Isais, who's under heavy pressure from Keogh, and then Garcia goes down. Now, Chris Beath has got to his notebook and issued a yellow card to the Spaniard.
Whilst ever the score remains just 1 the difference, it does remain, however remote, a possibility for the Glory.
Bogard chipping it in towards Karuska. It's beyond him, but Ferreira onto the end of it. He almost picked out Jute in the middle, which would surely have made the game safe.
He's been great tonight, Keogh, and he's hardly touched the ball. And it's not often you can say someone deployed in the front half of the field with their team has a great game without really touching the ball much, but he's just a constant danger. He works so hard. His positional sense is excellent. Really, if Perth had just found 1 other player to make a similar contribution, they'd be much more in this game than they are. Marinkovic had a couple of excellent moments in the first half. Thwaite and Djulbic have been resilient, as always, at the back.
Now, mistake by Zatkovic. Jute for Ferreira. Perth have got numbers back now. Still Ferreira, he'll blast it. No trouble for Vukovic. Jamison measuring out the run out, or the run up I should say. Perth have thrown plenty forward, why not? Needed a good delivery, and Galekovic was stretching and got a good fist on the ball, and had to. So it was just arcing away from the goalkeeper. Perth have got the throw, pressure maintained. Goalkeeper telling his Reds troops to switch on. Don't let this one slip. Griffiths with the attempted cross into the box, but it's broken down. Back in by Garcia. And now Jago. And the counter is on for the Reds. Garcia herring back, trying to provide some cover. It's with Sergio Thirio. Slips it inside. Jago to release. Great block. And then long range from Isaias. And tipped over by Danny Vukovic. Well, he's never scored for the Reds, Isaias. Well, that was on target.
He's not going to come much closer. Thirio cutting into that position. Jimmy Jago again, he's had 2 or 3 opportunities, just hasn't got the shot away quick enough, and it fell fortuitously for Isaias. Hit it beautifully. Vukovic up to it.
There's almost a bit of a hush around Cooper Stadium. I know they're so close, the home fans. Ferreira slips it into the path of Morone. Sidesteps Julbic, tees it up. Here's Jago. Didn't get good contact. And Perth survive. Garcia trying to dig it out. Back come the Reds. Jago. Thirio. Can they finish Perth off? Oh, and a stumble by Cameron Watson. Just as he was shaping to shoot and pull the trigger. Went down as if hit by a sniper. Bogard carries it forward. Now Elrich. And it's blocked by McLaren.
Well, they had it on a tee on a number of occasions.
Joseph Gombauer perhaps to enter football folklore in this state. Winning a major national trophy. John Kosmina won one in 05-06. Zoran Matic won a few, didn't he, for Adelaide City back in the days of the NSL. Thirio. Watson. Ferreira. Couple of step overs. Still hasn't got rid of Jamison. Nodded clear by Thwaites. Set up again by Watson. Ferreira. Jago slips it through. Pablo Sanchez. And here's Sergio Thirio, and it's deflected behind for another corner. And still, they haven't quite seen off the stubborn resistance of Perth Glory, but they're close.
No, very well put, Simon. You know, as outplayed as Perth have been, they've really stood tall in their own penalty area. They've held their nerve, they've put their body on the line. Adelaide just can't get that second goal.
There's the crowd figure, 16,142, barely a seat to be had at Cooper Stadium tonight. And I can tell you, nobody's leaving early. They want to see that cup presented, or at least not in red. There might be a few Perth fans making for the exits in a few minutes. We've got 30 seconds to go. Lunged forward by Vukovic. It drops here for Ruben Zadkovic. Here's the late drama to be had in the cup final. McLaren to curl it. And Eugene Galakovic punches the air. He thinks that's it, and it may well be.
Yeah, not a bad effort from Jamie McLaren. Adelaide just running their luck a little bit towards the end. Instead of pushing on, they've looked to hit long back passes and kill the game. And Gombauer's been a little bit frustrated, but they're nearly there, the Reds. And listen to this.
Everybody on their feet. Well, they've got great passion for their team in this state, and it's about to be rewarded. The FFA Cup is staying in Adelaide. A first trophy for Joseph Gombauer with the Reds, and a first piece of silverware for Adelaide United since the premiership in 2006 under John Kosmina. Joseph Gombauer will go down in folklore. It's also the first time in 20 years the Adelaide public will see one of their teams lift a trophy on home soil, and aren't they going to enjoy it? Sergio Thirio with the only goal of the inaugural final. Adelaide Adelaide United's inaugural FFA Cup winners for 2014.